Ghosting. It's the modern way to end a relationship without actually ending it. One minute you're texting back and forth with chemistry so strong it could power a small city. And the next, your phone is so silent, you start checking if your Wi-Fi bill is past due. Some people spiral, wondering what they did wrong. Others shrug like, their loss. Some try to decode the silence like it's a cryptic puzzle from the universe. And some, they don't even notice they're being ghosted. Because they forgot to respond first. Here's the truth. How you react to ghosting isn't random. It's wired into your personality type. Today, we're diving into all 16 MBTI types and how each one handles getting ghosted. Who overthinks it? Who pretends not to care? Who cares way too much? And who immediately blames Mercury in retrograde? Quick disclaimer. These are fun generalizations, not psychological diagnoses. If you feel personally attacked, just know I'm ghosting you too. Just kidding. Stay with me. If you love surprisingly accurate MBTI breakdowns that make you laugh, cringe, and question the last person who left you on red, hit like, tap subscribe, and drop your type in the comments below. Because on this channel, we don't just talk personality, we expose why your texting life is a disaster. Alright, let's open the inbox of the human heart. These four don't handle ghosting emotionally at first. They handle it logistically, which somehow makes it even more intense. The ISTJ gets ghosted and immediately assumes there must be a practical explanation. Bad signal? Busy day? Phone died? They give the ghoster every benefit of the doubt because disappearing without explanation violates every rule of decency they believe in. By day 3, the ISTJ is staring at their phone like it personally betrayed them. They replay each conversation, analyzing every message like it's evidence in a trial. They won't text again because that's not the procedure, but they absolutely will wonder, what changed? I thought everything was going well. Did I miss a sign? Their biggest heartbreak? They take ghosting as a breakdown in honor, not just communication. The ESTJ gets ghosted and instantly thinks, "Oh, you're unorganized and unreliable." They won't cry, they'll just mark you mentally as inefficient and unsuitable for long-term partnership. Give an ESTJ silence and they give you closure faster than you can blink. But make no mistake, they're annoyed. Ghosting feels immature to them. They'll shake their head, move on, and never look back, except maybe once, to roll their eyes in your direction. INTJs handle ghosting like they handle everything, by constructing a fully fleshed out psychological profile of the ghoster. They don't panic, they analyze. They think through every possible reason, ranking them by probability. Then they conclude that ghosting is inefficient, emotionally weak, and frankly beneath them. But deep inside, they're quietly wounded. Not because you left, but because the relationship potential they spent hours evaluating just vanished without delivering data. INTJs want closure, not for feelings, but for the research. The ENTJ's reaction to ghosting is immediate. Wow, they just fumbled the bag. They'll feel a quick sting, but it lasts around 4.7 seconds. Then they turn that disappointment into motivation, productivity, and glow-up energy. Ghosting is inefficient. Ghosting is childish. Ghosting is embarrassing. For you, not them. If you ghost an ENTJ, they will not chase. They will not ask questions. They will simply step back, adjust their mental spreadsheet, and conclude that you were not worth the ROI. The planners grieve with logic, but the next group, they grieve with their entire hearts. These types don't just get ghosted, they feel ghosted. The ISFJ gets ghosted, and their first reaction is, "What did I do wrong?" They replay every detail, every emoji, every moment of vulnerability. They assume it must have been something they said or didn't say or thought about saying. They won't text again, not because they're proud, but because they don't want to bother someone who doesn't want them. Ghosting crushes them because they value emotional responsibility. They would never leave someone hanging, and they can't understand why someone else would. The INFJ knows they're being ghosted before the ghoster even ghosts. They sensed the energy shift. They saw the pattern. They predicted the silence. So when it happens, they're hurt, but not surprised. Instead of wondering what they did wrong, INFJs think, what emotional trauma made them behave this way? They'll psychoanalyze the ghoster for closure. Then they'll withdraw with dignity, journaling their feelings like a poetic detective solving their final case. The ISFP doesn't explode, text angrily, or demand answers. They go quiet. Very quiet. Inside, they feel it deeply. They wonder why someone would vanish after they finally opened up. They question whether they should ever be vulnerable again. But here's the plot twist. The ISFP won't chase. If you disappear, they'll take it as a sign from the universe and slowly accept it, while making a heartbreak playlist. Ah yes, the INFP. Ghosting hits them harder than anyone. They immediately create 3 alternate timelines, one where the relationship worked out, one where they ruined everything, and one where the ghoster is secretly in love but afraid. They don't just get ghosted, they turn it into a mythic tragedy. They overthink, overfeel, and overanalyze what the connection could have been. But eventually, they move forward, quietly, softly, and with a new poem. The feelers break inside. The next group, they break the rules. These 4 don't get ghosted quietly. They cause thunder, or they cause chaos. The ESTP gets ghosted and immediately turns it into a mission. Oh, you're ignoring me? Cute. Watch this. They'll post a story looking absolutely flawless. They'll go out. They'll live loudly. Within 24 hours, they'll make the ghoster question their entire life choices. If an ESTP gets ghosted, rest assured, the ghoster regrets it long before the ESTP does. When the ESFP realizes they're being ghosted, their heart breaks fast, but their bounce-back energy is powerful. They'll cry a little, vent to friends, and then immediately surround themselves with fun, beauty, and people who actually appreciate them. Ghosting hurts because they give so much connection and warmth. But they'll pick themselves up, look amazing while doing it, and move on to someone who knows how to text back. The ENTP gets ghosted and instantly becomes Sherlock Holmes with Wi-Fi. Why did they ghost me? What changed? What's the psychology behind this? What's their attachment style? Wait, let me research ghosting statistics. They need closure, not emotional closure, but intellectual clarity. They'll analyze it to death, joke about it with friends, then randomly text the ghoster months later just to see if they respond. And if they don't? Well, ENTPs don't stay disappointed for long. There are always new people and new debates. ENFPs feel ghosting intensely. At first, they panic. Did I say something weird? Did I overshare? Did I undershare? Did I exist incorrectly? Then they swing into heartbreak mode, then empowerment mode, then self-discovery mode. Ghosting sends them through a spiritual journey. They feel it deeply, but they also heal deeply. Once they accept it, they rise like a phoenix, brighter, wiser, and ready to love again with full force. The action seekers react loudly, but the last group reacts thoughtfully. These types want balance, clarity, and honesty, even when ghosted. The ISTP gets ghosted and shrugs. They don't chase, they don't spiral, they don't even question it. Their reaction is simple. Oh, okay. They weren't emotionally invested enough to crumble. Ghosting to them is just data. You're not serious, cool. Then they go back to their hobbies. INTPs pretend not to care. But they care. Oh, they care. They'll think through every reason logically, then switch to illogical ones, then return to logical explanations again. They'll reread messages and try to understand where the emotional disconnect occurred. Eventually, they conclude that relationships are confusing, people are unpredictable, and emotions are a strange human glitch. Then they'll move on, mentally. Emotionally, give them a week. The ENFJ gets ghosted and immediately blames themselves. Did I say too much? Not enough? Did they feel pressured? Did I misread things? They'll feel hurt, confused, and overly responsible. They might even check in one last time just to ensure the ghoster is okay, because they genuinely care. But once they accept the truth, they regain their confidence and move forward with grace. ENFJs always rise strong. ESFJs feel ghosting as a deep violation of emotional etiquette. They replay the story, wondering how someone could disappear so thoughtlessly. They might send one final, considerate message, not to guilt the ghoster, but to create closure. Once they process it, They lean on community, friends, and routines. They heal through connection, and they ultimately conclude that anyone who ghosts them never deserved their warmth in the first place. So, who handles ghosting the best? That depends. The planners analyze it. The feelers feel all of it. The seekers distract themselves. The harmonizers seek clarity. But no matter your type, ghosting doesn't define your worth. It just reveals who wasn't ready for you. Now it's your turn. Drop your MBTI type in the comments and tell us, how do you handle being ghosted? Do you spiral, shrug, analyze, glow up? If this video made you laugh, cringe, or feel uncomfortably seen, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We post weekly MBTI deep dives that blend humor, psychology, and relatable truth bombs that explain your behavior better than your therapist does. Because here, we don't just explore personality types. We illuminate exactly why your dating life looks the way it does. Now go check your phone, not because they texted, but because you deserve better.